Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of Fly Me to the Philippines. I am Chrissy. I'm going to show you the 10 most dangerous scams targeting older men like you on Filipino dating sites. Scams that have cost men their life savings, their dignity, and sometimes their lives. Rob and I have consulted with over 400 expat men in the last 16 months. Men who have thought they found love but found organized crime instead. Men who were so convinced their girlfriend was real. I'm going to show you a little snapshot of documents right here. Counterfeit passports, fake birth certificates, names of women who don't exist, all sent to men just like you by professional scammers who know exactly which buttons to push. But here's the thing, for every horror story I'm about to tell you, there are success stories too. Real love, real relationships, real happiness. The difference? Knowing what to look for and knowing the game before you start playing. So if you're on Filipino Cupid, Christian Filipina, or any other dating app looking for love in the Philippines, don't click away because what I'm about to reveal could save you from the biggest mistake of your life. Let me paint you a picture. You're 55, maybe 65. You've been divorced for years. You're sitting there alone in your house, scrolling through dating profiles, and suddenly, there she is. 28 years old, beautiful smile. She's a nurse or a teacher or maybe studying to be a doctor. Her English is perfect. She messages you first, calls you handsome and distinguished. Your heart skips a beat. When's the last time a young, beautiful woman called you handsome? When's the last time that anyone made you feel desired? That feeling, that kind of rush of excitement, that's exactly what they're counting on. Because the most successful scammers aren't the ones asking for money on the day one. The real scammers are those who make you fall in love first. And falling in love? That's the most dangerous thing you can do without right knowledge. In just a few minutes, I'm going to show you the short con. This is the kind of scam so perfectly designed that even smart men fall for it in just 10 days. But first, let me tell you about the investigation that changed everything. There's this guy, let's call him Michael, 63 years old, recently widowed. He contacted us because he's been video chatting with a 26-year-old nurse named Angel for 3 months. Every morning at 7 a.m. his time and every evening at 8 p.m. like clockwork. She never asked for money, of course. Never mentioned being poor. She just listened, laughed at his jokes, made him feel like he is the most important man in the whole world. The problem? Michael was planning to fly to Manila to meet her. He'd already bought the ticket. He told his children he's going to an adventure. So we did what we always do. We investigated, and what we found will shock you. Angel wasn't just video chatting with Michael twice a day. She was video chatting with 5 other different men. Same schedule, same sweet words, same promises. Michael's 7 a.m., that was right after James' at 6 a.m. call. His 8 p.m. call, that was right before Robert's 9 p.m. call. But here's the terrifying part. Angel wasn't even her real name. The woman in the videos, she was being trafficked, forced to work 12-hour shifts in what we call a romance factory, a call center where women are trained to break men's heart for profit. Michael never went to Manila, but 3 other men did. 3 men who thought they were meeting their soulmates. What they found instead, well, that's where our story really begins. See, what most men don't understand is that romance scamming isn't just some girl in her bedroom trying to make quick money. According to recent reports, Filipino romance scam profiles jumped 450% in just 1 year, and most of that growth it's organized crime. There are entire buildings in Manila, Cebu, and Davao City where hundreds of people work in shifts, managing thousands of fake profiles across dozens of dating sites. They have scripts, they have supervisors, they have managers, and they have quotas. And they're very, very good at what they do. These operations have 3 levels. First level are those foot soldiers, usually young women who handle the day-to-day chatting. The second level is the middle management, people who create the fake profiles and manage multiple accounts. Third level are the bosses, the ones who launder the money and recruit new workers. Every single one of these operations has the same weakness. They're businesses. They need to be profitable, and that means they follow patterns. Predictable patterns. And once you know the patterns, you can spot them from a mile away. Starting with scam number 1, the profile perfect girl. But before talking about that perfect girl, let me tell you about our book. Rob and I documented everything, every scam, every red flag, every success story. In our Amazon bestseller Fly Me to the Philippines, this is not some generic dating advice book. This is a survival guide written by people who've seen it all. We've got real case studies, real conversations, and most importantly, real strategies that work. Because for every scammer we expose, there are dozens of genuine women looking for real love with a man like you. The difference is knowing how to tell them apart. And that's exactly what this book teaches you. Now let's talk about the profile perfect girl. Let's start with the most basic scam, but also the most effective. Scammers use a technique known as love bombing, where they quickly shower new users with excessive affection and flattery. Her profile is perfect. Too perfect. Professional photos that look like they belong in a magazine. Education from top universities. A nurse, teacher, or engineer. Speaks perfect English with phrases like, I'm looking for my soulmate, and age is just a number. Here's what they don't tell you. These profiles assembled like factory product. The photos, stolen from Instagram models or purchased from photo agencies. The education and job details, copy-pasted from templates that test well with older Western men. But the biggest red flag isn't what's in the profile. It's what's not in the profile. No casual photos, no pictures with friends or family, no imperfections, no other details about daily life. Real Filipino women have pictures of their food, their families, their pets. They complain about traffic or their boss. They make spelling mistakes because English is their second language. Perfect women don't exist, and if her profile suggests she's perfect, she's perfectly fake. But the profile perfect girls is just the beginning, because once she hooks you, she moves to scam number 2. The family emergency. And this is where good men start losing serious money. Now we get to what we call the short con. And this one breaks my heart because it targets your best qualities. Your compassion, your desire to help, and your natural instinct to protect someone you care about. And here's how it works. Day 1 to 3. She messages you first, compliments your profile, says she's intrigued by older men because you're more mature, more stable. Day 4 to 7, video calls begin, twice a day just like we discussed, morning and evening. She's always perfectly made up, always happy to see you. Start calling you baby, honey, or my love. Day 8 to 9, the relationship accelerates. They will be saying, I've never felt this way before. You're different from other men. I think I'm falling in love with you. But day 10, there will be an emergency. It's always a family emergency. Her father needs surgery. Her mother is in the hospital. Her brother was in an accident. She's crying in the video chat, apologizing for bothering you, saying that she has nowhere else to turn. The amount? Usually $150 to $200. Just enough to seem reasonable, not enough to trigger major alarm bells. And here's the psychology that makes this effective. After 10 days of feeling loved and desired, you want to be her hero. You want to be the man who saves the day. $200 seems like nothing compared to the love you're feeling. So, you send it. And then the pattern repeats. 2 weeks later, another emergency. A month later, another crisis. Each time the amount gets a little bigger because she's proven you'll pay. We tracked one short con operation that targeted 200 men simultaneously. Average take per man, $2,300 over 3 months. Total, nearly $500,000. But the short con is nothing compared to what we call the long game. The long game is where professional scammers separate themselves from amateurs. This isn't about quick money. This is about creating genuine emotional dependency that lasts for months, sometimes years. Remember Michael and Angel? That was a long game operation. 6 months of video calls, never asking for money, never mentioning financial problems, just building trust, building intimacy, building love. Here's what makes the long game so insidious. The woman, or let's say the team of women, studies you, your schedule, your interest, your vulnerabilities. They remember your birthday, ask about your children, celebrate your victories at work. They become your daily diary, your best friend, the highlight of your day. You start planning your retirement around visiting her. You start learning Tagalog. You start thinking about what your life could be like in the Philippines. And then, after months of investment, the book sets. But it's not a family emergency this time. It's bigger. Business opportunity, investment on the future, down payment on a dream house. We're talking about $50,000, sometimes over $100,000. But here's the truly devastating part. When you finally fly to the Philippines to meet her, one of 3 things happens. Option 1, she doesn't show up, makes excuses, says she'll see you tomorrow, next week, next month. Option 2, she will show up, but she's managing 3 other relationships just like yours. You're sharing her time with other men who thinks they're her soulmate. And option number 3, she's married, has children, and you're just the job that pays the bill. The emotional devastation is worse than the financial loss. These men don't just lose money. They lose their faith in love, their trust in people, their belief that they deserve happiness. But the long game has tells, patterns you can spot if you know what to look for. And we'll get to those. But first, let me show you something that will make your blood boil. These are the documents that Michael would have received if our investigation hadn't stopped him. Birth certificate, passport, certificate of no marriage, school transcripts, all fake, all professionally made, all designed to convince you that your relationship is real and legal. Here's why this matters beyond the romance scam. These fake documents are often used for immigration fraud. That doesn't just put your money at risk. It puts you at risk for federal prosecution for immigration fraud. We've seen men charged with crimes they didn't even know they were coming, all because they trusted documents from someone they thought loved them. The fake document factory preys on your assumption that official-looking papers are official. But in the Philippines, if you're not working with verified agencies and legitimate sources, those documents might as well be printed on toilet paper. This is exactly why I created my open-source social media investigation. I use specialized software to track social media connections, verify photo authenticity, cross-reference claimed personal details, and identify patterns consistent with scam operations. You get a complete report with photo analysis, network mapping, linguistic analysis of her messages, and most importantly, a clear recommendation about whether this person is genuine or not. Here's the thing, legitimate Filipino women have nothing to hide from a professional investigation. In fact, most of them welcome it because they're tired of competing with scammers for your attention. It's the fake ones who get upset about background checks. It's the fake ones who say, "Don't you trust me?" when you suggest verification. We're just getting started. Let me run through the major scams every man needs to know. The visa victim. She needs more money for visa applications to visit you. The money goes straight into scammer pockets. The business partner. After months of relationship building, she presents a business opportunity in the Philippines. Coconut farming, internet cafes, small manufacturing, all requiring your investment. All completely fake. The sick child. Similar to family emergency, but more emotionally manipulative. Her child, who may not exist, needs medical treatment, school fees, or special care. Targets your paternal instincts. She wants to meet you halfway, maybe in a neutral country like Japan or Singapore. She needs money for airfares, hotels, documentation, and you pay, she disappears. Professional scammers often work with fake lawyers who contact you directly about legal issues affecting your relationship, inheritance claims, property disputes, immigration problems, all requiring immediate payment. She's finishing her degree and needs money for final semester tuition. Graduation fees or job application costs often includes fake university correspondence and forged transcripts. But here's what really important to understand. These aren't separate scams. They are modules. A single scammer might use 3 or 4 of these tactics with the same victim over several months. They start with short con tactics to test your generosity, graduate to long con relationship building, then deploy multiple scam modules as opportunities present themselves. The question is not whether you'll encounter these scams. The question is whether you'll recognize them before it's too late. So how do you spot these patterns before they spot you? Let me give you the red flags that have saved hundreds of our clients. Always available for video calls, but on their preferred times. Never shows you mundane aspects of daily life. Conversations feel scripted or repetitive. She remembers everything about you, but shares little specific about herself. All photos look professionally shot. No casual selfies or candid moments. Same lighting and background in multiple photos. Never any photos with clear identifying locations or landmarks. Details about her life change slightly over time. Claims about education or work don't match her apparent knowledge level. Family stories are generic or vague. Can't provide specific details about her claimed hometown or workplace. Any request for money within first month. Emergencies that coincidentally happen right when you're feeling most connected. Amounts that gradually increase over time. Reluctance to use video calls when discussing money. But the biggest red flag? Your gut feeling. If something feels too good to be true, if the timing feels convenient, if the emotions feel accelerated, trust that instinct. Professional scammers are good at their job, but they can't replicate genuine human inconsistency, genuine human flaws, genuine human unpredictability. Now, I don't want you to think every Filipino woman online is a scammer. That is not true. And it's not fair. Some of the most genuine, loving, loyal women in the world are right there on these dating sites, looking for exactly what you're looking for. These are some of our success stories where real men who found real love by following our guidance and trusting our investigation process. I'm gonna call this guy David and the girl Maria. David is 61, Maria is 34. They've been married 3 years now. Have beautiful home in Cebu, and David says it's the happiest he's ever been. But David almost didn't meet Maria because he was scared off by a scammer the month before. And here's James and Christina. James lost $8,000 to a long game scammer. He was ready to give up on love entirely, but he did our investigation process with his next connection, verified she was genuine. And now, they're planning their wedding. The difference between these success stories and the disaster stories isn't luck. It's knowledge. It's patience. It's verification. Genuine Filipino women understand why you need to be careful. They have seen their friends and sisters compete with professional scammers for your attention. They want you to do background checks because it proves that you're serious about finding real love, not just easy companionship. The right woman will respect your caution because she has the same caution about men who might not be genuine. Now let's talk about the platform themselves. Filipino Cupid, Christian Filipina, Asian dating. These are legitimate platforms, but they are also hunting grounds for organized scammers. The platforms do try to remove fake profiles, but they're fighting a losing battle. New fake accounts are created faster than old ones can be deleted. Plus, the platforms make money from active users, so there's financial incentive to keep profiles active even if they're questionable. I'm gonna give you this survival strategy. Only engage with profiles that have been verified by platform. It's not foolproof, but it eliminates 70% of fake accounts. Copy any photos that seem too professional and run them through Google Reverse Image Search or TMI. If they appear on modeling sites or other dating profiles, walk away. Ask specific questions about her claimed location, traffic patterns, local landmarks, recent events. Scammers working from scripts can't improve local knowledge. Insist on random video calls at unusual times. Scammers working in shifts can't always accommodate spontaneous communications. But here's the insider secret. Legitimate Filipino women expect these precautions. They know about scammers, they know about organized crime, and they know why foreign men are cautious. If someone gets offended by basic verification steps, that tells you everything you need to know. Look, I've given you a crash course in Roman scam recognition, but we've only scratched the surface. The full picture, every scam variation, every red flag, every success strategy, that's all in our book, Fly Me to the Philippines. This is not theory. This is practical. Knowledge from 16 months of consulting with over 400 men who've been through exactly what you're going through. Some of them lost everything. Some of them found everything. The difference? The knowledge in this book. And if you're already talking to someone and want professional verification, my investigation service has 98% accuracy rate in identifying scammers versus genuine women. Compare that to the average lost from Roman scams, over $15,000 per victim. And it's the best investment you'll ever make. Don't be the guy who says, I should have known better after it's too late. Be the guy who does his homework first. Here's what I want you to remember. The scammers are counting on your loneliness, your desire for love, your hope for companionship. Those aren't weaknesses. Those are beautiful human qualities that make you worthy of genuine love. But they are also qualities that can be exploited if you are not careful. The organized scam group that we've exposed, they have psychologists and staff. They study what older Western men want to hear, what emotional buttons to push, what timeline of escalation works best. You're not competing just with individual scammers. You're navigating around industrial-level emotional manipulation designed specifically to target men like you. But you know what? You're smarter than they think you are. You're more careful than they expect. And now you have knowledge they don't want you to have. Real love exists in the Philippines. Real relationships that will make your golden years truly golden. The difference between finding that love and falling for a scam? Knowledge, patience, verification, and the courage to walk away from anything that doesn't feel completely right. Don't settle for anything less, and now you don't have to. Thanks for staying with me through this deep dive. I know it's been intense, but this information could literally save your life savings and your emotional well-being. Get the book, get the investigation if you need it, and remember, the right woman will respect your caution because she wants the same thing you want. Real, genuine, lasting love. And always remember, fly smart, fly with confidence, only here from Fly Me to the Philippines.